All right, welcome to Career Build Series Part 44. We've in the last couple of videos I got the Mac to the point where we're pretty much ready to use it, which is great. I did a tiny little bit off screen. I hand painted the grill. I put the Mac lettering on there. I also squared this part here just a little bit to make it more true to life. I also was having an issue. I couldn't get it started, and I couldn't figure it out. And so what I finally figured out was if I put the air intake here, it works. If I put it up here, two up, if I put an air filter here, it was working. So it's either the RAM or the distance. So what I did was I just put a simple bypass. I might put a valve on there at some point. Probably not, but this allows air to come in here and come in here. And so as we're moving these rams, they take air, and the faster you go, the more air you get. And these, they just take ambient air. So that was giving me better. Just paint to do, and that was giving me better airflow, so I could start. So I couldn't start my engine there for a minute, so I had to figure that out. So I did that just off screen. It was just kind of a pain to do, so I just did it off screen while I was trying to start it up and test it. So I slept in the bed just before I booted this up, just to get us in day so we can see a little bit better. All right, so here we are. We'll spawn our truck in. We're going to start with zero fuel. Remember, we changed it so that we don't have auto refuel. So we're going to use the fuel here, which I already grabbed the hose. In real life, you would fill either tank one at a time. Like at work, we actually have dual diesel pumps, and so what you can do is you can stick a hose in either side. So for this one, I've cross-connected them, so as you can see, you can fill them one side or the other, whatever you want. Now, as you see the numbers moving around, that's because it's filling the pipes and it's priming those pipes. So let's get going. Let's jump on in. All right, so we'll start up. I was going to put in a fuel gauge, but I think not. Especially with an older tractor like this. Like at work, we visually inspect our fuel tanks. We open up the caps, and you can see inside the caps if where the fuel's at. So you would kind of know. So the gauge it's nice to have a gauge, but like when I start work at the beginning of the day, I do what's called a pre-trip. You're required by law to do it, where you have to go through your vehicle and do all your safety inspections. And so one of the things we do is we'll take off the diesel caps, and you can see visually that it's like 3 inches across, the 3-inch diameter on the filler caps, and so you can see how much fuel you have in there. And so if you visually inspect your fuel and you have full tanks, and they're 150-gallon tanks a piece, you can kind of see, okay, well, probably get, I don't know, 600 miles out of it, so you have plenty of diesel. So it doesn't really matter what the gauge says. Like I use 40 gallons of diesel a day on my routes. So I know if I have, even if I had half tanks, I have no problem. So you don't really need a gauge. Plus, you can go out, and since you can visually just inspect the gauge like we did, or visually inspect the tanks on the outside, you can just go out and see. So, I filled them, I think it was like 160, 170 liters per tank. So that's more than enough fuel for us just to do this trip back and forth. So this is handling really well. We have a couple areas we have to be careful of here. So it's definitely nice to do this during the day. I was having issues at night, just with, the headlights were working fine. It's just, this is kind of a craggy, a lot of turns in here. And so I was having issues coming down the mountain, just seeing. So just me trying to rush a little bit too much. So I figured during the day you guys would be able to see better, and it would also be more pleasant for me. So just advanced it today. Alright, so this is making up the mountain nicely. Need to tweak the brakes a little bit. If you saw in the introduction video for this where I kind of go over this. Alright, so this is kind of a hairy spot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come up. I'm going to set the brakes. Alright, set the brakes, and I'm going to walk it down to neutral. That's not neutral. Where's neutral? That's neutral right there. Okay. I'm going to play with that as well. Alright, so let's go and check where our path is. So this is our path here. We have to be careful. That is sheer cliff. I fell off that cliff at one point, kind of, trying to do the video. Driving at night, I didn't see it, and I was talking too much. So I'm just kind of checking my path here. So this ridge right here, I want to aim for. I always, because you can end up here if you turn too tight. You can't really see over the hill very well. So where is it? This ridge right here is visually where I want to go. So let's just start in. We're currently in neutral. Let's start in third. I actually kind of like how it rolls back a little bit like that. That's, like if you didn't give it enough clutch. Alright, so there we go. We're using that ridge to kind of line us up. So this is kind of tough to see, especially with a big squared hood. So one thing that's nice with the manual is I can set my speed with my gear. So currently I am in third gear? I'm in fourth gear. So I'm in fourth gear. I can tell by the speed that I'm in fourth gear. I can also tell that this is forward and away. That's fourth gear. I'm going at max where my RPM limiter is set. And you notice I can only go a max of about 13 miles an hour. So I'm pressing W down the whole time. I'm not going to go any faster than this. So this is nice for being able to control your speed. If you go bombing through here, it's likely you're going to hit something. And you damage your vehicle. So it's kind of nice, especially in a place like this. Once you get out in the highway in game, you can actually kind of give it some speed. But here, I want to take it nice and slow. This was the turn that it pitch black out, and I ended up running right off the edge. So I want to just kind of take this easy. If you had an automatic, it would be trying to keep upshifting, 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 and you'd be going so much faster than you wanted to. It's always, I think it's preferable with a big truck, in my opinion, to have a manual transmission. Like, I had an automatic yesterday at work because somebody had mine, and it was just, like, it was herky-jerky. It was like, I'm like, why are you shifting gears? Why are you skipping gears? It's like, let the professional driver drive it. I don't like the machine doing what it wants to do. I want to tell the machine what I want it to do. And I find a manual transmission, you have much more control over the vehicle. All right, so let's go into the coal funnel here. We should have, certainly plenty of clearance. I don't need to get too close to it. Kind of line up. I love doing first-person perspective. That's what I'm used to. I know a lot of people it's tough if you're not used to it. There's first, there's neutral. All right. I know for a lot of people it's tough if you're not used to. Actually, we went a little far. We need to come in a little bit. Okay. So it's tough for a lot of people to do first-person perspective in games, but if you get used to it, it's you can operate just as well, and it's I find it much more immersive than kind of looking out in third person all the time. Yeah, we had a mission when I slept, and we're not doing that mission. We can't take all the deaths personally. That's not ours. I just thought of a terrible macabre thing they could do. I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if they added this, added a morgue. So if somebody died, you had to bring them to the morgue and you still get money. I'm like, you know what people would do? People would make it so that everybody died. They would sell them to the morgue. It's better just to, oh, jeez. Wow. I'm just like, okay. I'm not paying attention, and I am not lining up at all. So let's get lined up here. I'm talking too much. Alright, let me get this lined up. So I'm going to back all the way up. I'm going to go into high reverse. There we go. Alright, so I need to actually look and see where it is. So right there is where it's at. Alright, let me line this up better. I can move the funnel a little bit too, so I'm just going to come in slow. I think right about here I can see the shadow of it. So hopefully there. Let's line up with the coal funnel. Alright. Let's see where it's at. Alright, that's close enough I can move it, so let me move it. Alright. I'm still off. I'm still not lined up. I gotta line up. I know this is exciting. Me just trying to line up to the funnel. What we'll do is this. I'm going to cheat it just a second here. Just so you guys don't have to keep watching me screw up the alignment. Can we do that? Okay, so I'm going to back up. We're aligned now. And then let me check. That should work. Okay, let's start it. Make sure it's not falling on the ground. It isn't. Okay, so we're filling. Let me take it out of gear. Brakes we're on. Let me put it in neutral. It's in neutral. And I can kind of jump off the up on the bumper. Okay, so there it is. Get some good leeway on this. So these are 2,025 per. So you're talking 6,075 total capacity we have in this dump truck. And so as you can see, they're interconnected. So they connect laterally here, so you don't need to. How many people are out there dying? Jeez. So you don't have to fill each individual hopper. They'll auto-fill one another. So we're gonna buy them for we're gonna buy it for $1.53, and we have we're gonna sell here for $5.36. So I'm just gonna bring up the calc. All right. So was it $5.36 minus $1.53 is $3.83 times 60.75. What is it? $3? Let's see, I just screwed that up. $3.83. Okay. 3.83 times 60.75. So that's $23,267 of profit we're gonna make. So this is a nice little profitable truck. To put that into perspective, a good container going up to the Arctic is between about 22 and 30,000. So like if you had a ship going up to the Arctic, like you know my home ship can hold 5. If you had 5 of those, that's 150,000 to take a run up to the Arctic. And I think it would take me 2 hours and change to get up to the Arctic. So let's say 3 hours one way, you'd go make 150,000 in profit. That's not bad. You know, we could grind out with this for 3 hours, but you know the ship you could put on autopilot. So this, you know, definitely we wouldn't want to take Rijot with the barge up to the Arctic. You know, that would take us, what am I doing, 10 knots? That would, oh wow. Yeah, that's slow because, you know, it's pulling the barge, it's a small boat. That would take like 4.5 hours to get up to the Arctic to do one container. So obviously that's not profitable. You know, you could take, you know, something like my Rotodyne up there with a container and fly it up with the helicopter, and you'd make 30 grand, and I think it's like a 15-minute trip. But you're burning a lot of jet fuel. So something like this is actually really nice and profitable. You're not making a ton of money per trip, but your you know, your expenses are very little. I forget exactly. I should double check where the fuel was when we started. Yeah, so we've used maybe 40 liters a side. You know, so let's say worst case scenario, we're paying $1 a liter. You know, let's say $2 a liter, right? So that would have cost us $160 to get up here. You know, let's say grand total it cost us $1,000. We're still making $22,000, you know, profit. This truck is also pretty cheap to spawn. It's like $16,600 to spawn this truck. So This is definitely a nice money maker. Should be full almost. No, we're still filling here. All right. So back to rain. Let me jump in the cab. I don't get wet. So I still need a couple things on here. I have spots. I think I'll add a spotlight button somewhere. I have that welding torch in there. I put that in there because I crashed a couple times. Yeah, so that was good for testing to know that I needed that. Yeah, so I need something for just a button for spotlights to trigger some spots. So I have I'm gonna put the drop axle down. So let's go look at that. Watch that go down. All right, so drop axle's down. That'll lock into place. What's going on here? Let me see what's up. It's starting to stack the coal. You know, it's not a big deal. Problem is we're paying for it. Oh, these are smaller hoppers. Oh, okay. Are these medium hoppers? No, they're larges. How do I drop coal? I forget how I drop coal. Unload coal. E. Okay. Q. No. Okay, are these full? I don't know, dude. Backspace to toss them. Are these full? I thought the... Huh. Oh, you know what it is? No, these are the same size ones I used in my other one. And I thought those held 20 something. Yeah, it's not filling anymore. These are at 675. Okay, well, let's redo our calculation. That was... I must have... my other trailer, I thought they held 2,000 piece. Maybe these aren't the biggest ones. So 675 times 3 is... that's 2025 times 3.38. So that's still 7,000 in profit on a single run. That's not bad. You know, it's not the 24,000. I thought that number sounded high to me, so I must be thinking of a larger hopper. Alright, so let's go with this. Supply the tractor. Let's go and start moving. Let's turn on our headlights because the rain started and it's getting dark, despite me doing everything I can to try not to. So we are in 6th gear, it looks like. No. What are we in? 3rd. Let's go into 5th. Okay, so let's be careful going up here. We're in 5th gear, so ooh, getting close to the wall. We're in 5th gear, so we should we'll be capped out at 15. We also have a load on us. I want to redo the dome light. I don't like where the dome light is there. I might... Come on. I'm just getting really worried about the edge of the cliff here. I get to talking, and you know, when you come up on the ridge here, it's hard to see over it, and that's how you end up running off the side. So, like, okay, so now I can see the ridge line here, and you see how it's all one color, so it's kind of hard to see the edge. All right, so I'm gonna take it nice and slow here. Or death. Oof, lightning's not helping at all. Blind to me. Alright, so this is kind of rocky here. This is a little bumpy, rocky. I want to be careful. I don't want to break anything. Alright, so we're keeping it in 5th gear. It'll tap us out at 15 miles an hour. Yep. So again, this is the benefits of a manual gearbox. And like I said, I set this up to be realistic to real life. The tractor I use at work has a 10-speed Eaton Fuller. I got the gear ratios within 0.02 of the real ratios. So that's incredibly accurate to real life. And then I index the tack. I change the tack just for the wheel radius in game is going to change the final speed. But I've got these speeds very accurate to real life, so that's that helps with getting that. So that's where that fire is there. I almost had an idea to swim out there and put that fire out for an extra $3 grand, but I don't think I'm going to bother. Let's stick with what we're doing here. Let's not get distracted. Okay, so, wow, that lightning is brutal. Let's put on the Jake brake. All right, so again, to review the Jake brake, it essentially turns the engine into a big compressor. In game, I have this simulated where as I take once the throttle goes down below 0.3, it starts adding some brakes. And so that's, you can see, so I don't have to tap my brakes at all. I'm just tapping the W key to go down. It's kind of like a little bit of an auto brake. And so that will automatically add some brake to us. You know, it's a little on the strong side, so I think I put in either property slider or property number. I can reduce that a little bit, but it allows me to just drive with the W key going down a steep hill like this. So you don't want to have to slam in your brakes in real life. Or ride the brakes going down a hill in real life. So by putting on the Jake brake, it allows you to save your brakes, keep them nice and cool. So if you do need to use them, you can have fully effective brakes. Where if you were riding your brakes, they're gonna get hot, they're gonna fade, and so you'll often see in the side of mountains as roads that there are truck runaways, and so it's a big ramp. It's a big ramp going uphill, and it's usually filled with gravel, and so the gravel kind of swallows the truck and helps stop it, and you're going uphill. So you would take the runaway truck ramp, and that would that allows you to you know, not crash, and then you have to get towed out of there, but at least you didn't get killed. All right, so going 25 miles an hour. So I'm trying to think, what gear would that be? That's got to be 7. Yep. So yeah, I could tell by just the speed, you know, what gear I'm in. You know, 8's good for 30, 30 to 35, and then 9's good for about 50, and then 10 in this is fast. 10 in this is like 70. You can get a good fast speed going here. I'm just gonna stop really quick, which I need to work on the brakes a little on this, but I'm gonna save in case something were to happen. I don't want to have to redo the video. Okay, so let's go here. Let's downshift. Okay, so that's 6th. We should be able to start in 6th. A little bit of chuggy on 6, starting in 6, but 7, 8. There's 9. Let's get going. We're on the, no, that's 8. We're on the highway. We're doing, that is, what gear is that? That's got to be 7 there. That's 8. Okay, 8 is giving me 40. It's different than the Mack just because it's, different size motor and different weight. Alright, so there's 9. And there's 10. So as you can see, we can get up to a nice high speed here. We can get up in the 70s. Real life, you know, probably be governed, and you probably wouldn't be able to go this fast in a dump truck, but fully laden rather, fully loaded. Alright, yeah, we're almost back on night again. I wish we could change the day-night cycles, but I guess that's a bug that's going around. I might try to XML edit it, see if it'll work. But so I have a PID smoothing the steering here at high speed, so that's helping us. Like I can go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and it's not going crazy. So essentially what it's doing is it's allowing me to change the sensitivity to seat based on speed, and that's helping us stay stable so that we're not, you know, it's very easy to drive like this. If you don't have this, it's, you know, the vehicles often are very tough to drive at high speeds. You'll end up crashing because you want nice, sensitive steering at low speeds so that you can easily drive around at low speeds and make big turns. But at high speeds, you want little sensitivity. In real life, you know, you just compensate for this by, you know, at slow speeds, you know, you're turning your steering wheel a lot, and then at high speeds, you're turning your steering wheel very little. But of course, we're just tapping A and D most of the time. I don't bother hooking up a steering wheel. Alright, so we're talking, let's see what my profit was on this. So we're talking like 6,800 plus profit per run. That's not bad. You know, that rescue mission there, I don't know how many people died, but that rescue mission would probably give us about that. You know, I thought these hoppers were the largest hoppers. I'll have to look when we get it back in base. And then we own Komodo, so we can actually recall this in Komodo. We don't have to go back to Spy Cake, so we can start the next episode over there. And I can figure out what I want to do. You know, do a container. I started doing a container, and that's when the world got screwed up, and I found that extra option of natural disasters. You have to click on default missions. You have to actually click on that, and then you also have, you know, natural disaster missions too, which I think I like the idea of natural disasters. I don't care for the implementation of it. I think they kind of went cartoony with it, which I understand. A lot of people want Kraken, and they want Megalodon, and they want to go fight the Kraken and the Megalodon, and you know, they're looking for the Kraken. And I could not care less about any of that stuff. I want more realistic gameplay, which I love that, you know, both parties, you know, those who want realistic gameplay and those who want more cartoony gameplay can have it in the same game. I think that's awesome. I don't want to poo-poo on anyone else's fun. But that's just not my style. I don't want, you know, to be driving around trying to do a coal mission and here comes a tsunami that knocks all my containers off. Alright, so I just took my finger off the W key. The Jake brake will start to slow me down, which I need to just reduce the brakes on this. You know, it's, especially in an old truck, they'd be a little bit. So we'll shut the Jake off. Start to downshift here. Alright, so I went down 3, so we should be in 7. Let's go down 2 more. We're in 5. So 5 should limit us to 15. So if you know your gears, you know what speeds you'll be able to go. And you can kind of tell where you want to be. So like, for example, in the yard at work, the speed limit's 15. If I drive around in 5th, I'm going to have 15. You know, I don't even have to look at the speedo. Alright, so let's get lined up on this. And let's tap the brakes. And let's see if we're aligned. Okay. Alright, so I think let's back up just a hair. I think that will take the coal, but I just want to make sure I don't lose any, and I don't want to have to manually pick it up by hand. So let's reverse. Alright, so let's reverse just a hair. Alright, so that should be good, I think. Let's put it in neutral. Alright, so we're right over the tip point here. I wish they'd put a second one that's not on the tracks, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to, let's follow the instructions, and I'll make them a little bit more clear, but dump body, gear to neutral. So the gears in the gear shift is in the center, it's neutral. Switch on, and above 1,000 RPM. So let's start pressing W. Alright, so what this is simulating is you tapping the, you can see it going up in the back there. What this is simulating is you're turning the hydraulic valve to open the valve, and then when you're bringing up your throttle, that's increasing the speed of the hydraulic pump, and that is, and that's causing you to, yeah, that's causing you to, so essentially the valve is allowing you to put hydraulic fluid into the cylinders, and that's raising it. And then when you flip the switch again, it's allowing the hydraulic fluid to come out of the cylinders, which allows you to drop it. So that's what's going on there. Let me check really quick. I had a comment to talk about. Yeah, White Buggy had commented that the pistons have been going over the compact linear tracks. He was completely right. They were going here. I had noticed that. I just hadn't mentioned it. The my connectors, when I first started putting in 2 connectors, I put one right here, so they were actually bending over the compact linear track. I planned on shortening those anyway, so that's why I didn't mention that that was one of the issues. But I did notice that the cylinders were bending over this track. At this point, these are faked. I like to fake my cylinders because in real life, liquids are non-compressible, right? So hydraulic fluid is not compressible, but pneumatics are compressible. So what you'll often get with these in-game pneumatic cylinders is they're squishy, they'll bounce. And I don't want them to bounce. I want them to be solid like a hydraulic. So I'm using the pivots are actually turning this. These are set to a strength of 0. If your hydraulic piston or your pneumatic pistons are set to a strength of 0, they slide freely, and so what happens is that allows these connectors to connect to them, and then it allows them to automatically pull out when the pivots actually lift the bed. So the pivot's doing all the work. Let's look at our money. All right, money's going up steadily. All right, so I don't know where we're at fill-wise. I can actually check it. So I have a little bit of painting left to do, as you can see in there. So there's the hopper, large. I am curious why these are not. We'll test this when I put it in the garage. I'll see what the max capacity is because we filled them. I thought these were the largest. Maybe there's a huge one that I didn't know about. Maybe I could put two huge ones side by side. I don't know. Probably not, but I'm happy with the capacity. It seemed a little bit ridiculous that I was going to be able to make 25,000 per run. As you can see, this was a short run. This goes 70 miles an hour. It seemed a little ridiculous that I was going to make that much money off this truck, so it's kind of actually nice to make a more realistic figure on the money. I might change these to 2x wedges too, and then I need to paint. This section here is just kind of because I need to have something over the hopper, over the funnel rather, to deal with that. All right, so let's see where we're at here. So again, I can look at the hoppers are linked, so the quantity should be the same. So we have 3 in there, 3. Yeah, we should have 3 in there, and so they're linked. They're all down to 40 units. So we're almost empty here. We'll see what we have for cash. We did the calculation again, so we're talking just under 7,000 profit. So almost done here. If we had 2,000, we'd be sitting here also for a long time to empty. All right, so we are done. So again, to lower this bed, very simply, you just need to flip your switch. That's simulating you actually opening up the hydraulic valve, allowing the weight of the dump bed to push on the cylinders and push the hydraulic fluid out. So we're going to raise our axle too. We don't need our axle down. We're no longer, hauling a lot of weight. So that's what those drop axles are for. They're for, the drop axles are actually for, weight distribution to save the roads. Back when I was a kid, you had a lot more 10-wheel dump trucks that only had, 8 wheels in the rear and then 2 in the front. You started seeing a lot more of these drop axles because they destroy the roads, especially if you're driving around like more of a, city streets, and you'll notice that the roads get very kind of accordioned and craggy and bumpy right at the stoplights, and that's because the trucks are stopping. They're actually sliding the asphalt. All right, so let's park this. I will do a couple. Let me put the brake on. Okay, so we're gonna. I think we'll get the money back for that fuel we used when we'll actually sell. I put the brake on. When we actually sell this or put this back in the workbench, I will try to extract it. So I think this is going to be full, so I can't extract from here. I could go back and extract the other way, but I'm not going to. All right, so that's taking it in. I want to reverse the pump. I'm going to try to take as much fuel out as I can, and then I'll put it back in the workbench. So let's see. Yeah, so we barely used any fuel here, because this should be back to where it was. So we're talking. Wow, we used like, I don't know, maybe like 40 liters of fuel. So that's super super inexpensive. Okay, let's see. Can I recall this? All right, so this is recalled now. Yep, that cost 16,885 to spawn. So let's do a little bit of quick little update on this while I'm here. Okay, so that I want to do a little painting while I'm here. I just need this block painted here. I don't need to paint the ton. Good symmetry's on. That's a gift. And I always hate having to come in through the blocks here to try to paint. Okay, this needs painting here. That's going to be hidden anyways, but I'll paint it. And then I need to get into the blocks here and not fly too far. All right. Always a struggle trying to get right where you want to be sometimes, especially when you have these multiple grids. It's hard to look through them. Like right there's my paint that I need. Alright, so let's just do this painting here. There we go. So that's painted up. And then I want... We'll do black and then I'll color the top of them. I'm just going to switch these to wedges. Wedges here, like this. And then I'm going to paint the top of these to kind of match the hoppers a little bit more. Okay, so these are, let me see, these are large hoppers. Curious. Okay, so these are large hoppers. I thought the capacity was 2,000. Let's see. Mirrors. I wanted to add mirrors. Let me see. Okay, that one's... That's that door. So I need to look at mirrors. Mirrors are going to be a little bit tough to do on that other side. I'll wait off on that. But yeah, so that was a good little mission to get done. Let me see where our money's at when I recall that. Yeah, so 102,000. So that's good. Made some good profit on that. That was a fun little run. A good little test for the dump truck. Dump truck worked well. Did I not save that? I don't think I saved it. So let's grab that back. Yeah, so let's grab this back. Let me make sure this is the one that I was working on. Yeah, let me check. Yep, that's good. All right, what else did I want to do? I thought there was something else that needed fixing. I should put some reflective strips on there. Let me do this just quickly. What are those? Twos? Twos. Let's put some decoration pieces in here. Let me see. I'll go threes here. So this is just going to be kind of decorative in here. Struggling to get angled here. It starts when you start having to get in tight. It's tough. Okay, and then I want to do, let me just paint this one here. All right. Alright, so these should all be painted up where I want them. That's not going to be seen, but I like to get the colors the same anyway. Okay, so that's good, and then let's grab these 1x2s, and so this is just going to continue this this reinforcement design here. Alright, that's good there. I still need to paint this here. Okay, come on, paint, paint, paint. Let me check this side, make sure that's painted. It should be, yep, okay. And then we'll do here. That's going to just carry, oh, why are you painting the wrong color? Okay, there we go. Alright, so that's going to fill that in. Okay, and then what was up with this? Why? I didn't need that to be missing a block. I don't know why I have missing a block. So that's back. That's good. Okay. Just a little bit of paint here and there to get that going. It's look good. I kind of want to, okay, so I want to do this while I remember. I'm just trying to do things while I remember them. So brakes, I don't want these tags to be brakes. We have too much braking force as it is. These are braked. Why do I not have these braked? I definitely want those braked though. Let's go right there to variable brakes, tractor. Yeah, okay. So I had some asymmetrical braking. I was like, why do I have asymmetrical braking where one side's braking and the other side's not? You'll get that sometimes when you're, the tractor will actually turn a little, and that's usually asymmetrical braking's causing that. So, it's because I didn't have any brakes on this wheel, so these were braking more and it's pulling me to the left. So I took the brakes off the tag axles, so those don't need brakes. I'll decrease the brake sensitivity probably, or the I'll clamp it probably. Let me look really quick at my see where my Jake is. T-Test tractor doors. Eaton Fuller 10 speed. Mack Pinnacle shift point down 8. So I don't have an auto transmission. I'm not putting an auto transmission in. Hill RPM 12. Tack calibration. I thought I put a brake figure in there. Where is my brakes coming from? I think they're coming from clutch. Let me find where the brake is. Brake is on the T-TIS. Okay. Brake's on T-TIS. Let's go down. So here's the Jake brake strength. 0.01. I'm going to go down. Jake's a little bit strong for me, so I'm going to do half that. So I'm going to do 0.05. And then let me go in here, and I want to add a factor to... I want to do a brake factor here. Tractor variable brakes. I could change the clamp here. So you can't get to 100% brakes. Or I can do a brake factor, which I think I might do. Let me try a brake factor. If I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. So, so we want to make this so you can change that brake factor. So let's do function. So I kind of like mixing these videos where you have a little bit of career and you also do a little bit of building. So that's going to take whatever our brakes are reading. And then I'm going to factor in a number here where I take a property text or a property number. I like a number more than a slider. And then I'm going to do this simple. So that's going to be X is going to be our clamp. So X times Y. What is it? X times Y. Y is going to be our multiplication factor. That's going to go here to tractor brakes. This is going to be brake strength. Brake strength. All right, so now the max brakes we can get is 1. If I did a 0.5 here, the max strength I can get is 0.5, so that's going to have the brakes. That's all that is. And then what that will allow you to do here is when this is updated, you can come down here to brake strength. And if the brakes are too weak, we go 0.6, go 0.7. We can change it there. And that allows us just to change the strength of my brakes. All right, so that's good. Let's save that up. Let's save this to Mack R dump. Right here, this one's good. All right, so that saves that up. Let me look at hoppers really quick. All right, so yeah, these are large hoppers. I don't know what's up with this. I thought they were 2,000 a piece. Let me do this. Let me exit. Let me save. And we'll save to the other one, so we always have a backup save. All right, let's get back in there. Let's take one of these and let's fill it max capacity. I could have sworn it was 2025 was the max capacity, but they were full and they weren't going to fill anymore. Oh, I can't fill them in this world. Okay, so that's good to know. But that was a fun little mission. I enjoyed that. The day-night cycle is way too short. I still don't know if I can actually edit that in XML. People are talking about it's bugged, so I'll have to test it out. But I think it's a cool truck and it's a good money maker. I could probably add some weight blocks in there. Would be helpful. And then so we have some work to do on this to make, so we can do this in our career save for a little bit, and we can go back to boating as well. So thank you for watching.